This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत। बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत।
This is Bharat FM.
नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल दोस्तों। आप भारत एफएम सुन रहे हैं और देख रहे हैं हमें फेसबुक लाइव पर और जूम पर। और मैं हूं आपका दोस्त और आपका होस्ट आशीष झा। आज हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में रूबरू में आप जिनके साथ रूबरू हो रहे हैं उनका नाम है पायल सोनी कोहली। पायल पहले यहाँ सिंसिनाटी में ही रहती थी। काफ़ी साल गुजारा उन्होंने सिंसिनाटी में, लेकिन आजकल वो अपने फैमिली के साथ एलए में, लॉस एंजलिस में है। तो इस वक्त उनका 9 बज रहा है और हमारे यहाँ सिंसिनाटी में 12 बज रहे हैं। और हमारे कुछ दर्शक इंडिया से भी लॉग्ड इन हैं, तो उनका मेरे ख्याल से 7:30 हो रहा है, शाम के 7:30 बज रहे हैं। तो दोस्तों, आप सभी का इस प्रोग्राम में स्वागत है। और आज हम जानेंगे पायल की जर्नी, उनकी जो पैशन उनका रहा है, वो क्या कर रही हैं आजकल और आगे क्या करना चाहती हैं और अब तक उन्होंने क्या हासिल किया है, और इस जर्नी में उनका साथ जिन लोगों ने दिया है, आज हम उनसे भी बातचीत करेंगे। सो वेलकम पायल, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर कमिंग ऑन आवर शो।
Thank you, Ashish. It's a pleasure to be here.
No problem. So, Payal, as we know that you are a social activist, you are involved in a lot of social causes right from the beginning. I know even in Cincinnati, you started with a social cause, which we will talk about during the Rubaru. And even now you are doing something which is related to the social cause. लेकिन ये सब बात करने से पहले हम चाहेंगे कि हम आपकी पूरी जर्नी, शुरू से अभी तक की जो आपकी जर्नी रही है, उसके बारे में हम बात करें। सो आई नो पर्सनली दैट यू ग्रो अप इन पुणे। सो टेल अस अबाउट योर ग्रोइंग एक्सपीरियंस इन पुणे। योर हाउ वाज योर लाइफ ओवर देयर, योर इंटरेक्शंस विद डिफरेंट पीपल ओवर देयर।
Yeah, I would love to. Pune is my favorite place on this earth. I can very confidently say that. And I say that only because of the experience, that I had growing up in that city. I come from a family which is nuclear, but also not nuclear, because we were a very close-knit extended family, and everybody was close by. All my relatives lived in Pune mostly. Some of them were outside Pune, but very frequently meeting, and they used to come. Both sets of grandparents lived in Pune. So I was very blessed that I grew up in that environment. My mother is a teacher by profession, and my father was in HR all through and through. Really, really loving parents. Had an amazing childhood. I have a younger brother. His name is Parag. And so from that time, I can tell you that, my mother made a huge impact on, who I am today. So I and Parag went to the same school where my mom was teaching. And so it was all the time there were eyes on us, and that's so the good and bad. Good that I was given that privilege that teacher ki bachi hai. And then the bad part was that all the teachers knew me, तो मैं कभी स्नीक आउट नहीं कर सकती थी, और अगर टेस्ट गंदा हुआ है तो मेरे घर पहुंचने से पहले वो खबर घर पहुंची होती थी। मेरी अच्छे से हजामत बहुत हुई। और अगर मैं तुमको अपनी एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली के बारे में बताऊं, तो आई कैन रिलेट इट टू बॉलीवुड मूवी कॉल्ड हम आपके हैं कौन। तो जैसे हम आपके हैं कौन में 2 episodes, and then there is a lot of getting together, dancing, singing, and that is the kind of family we have, where every once in a month, or maybe even earlier to that, we used to get together for some wedding, some occasion, something or the other, because all the 3 generations were settled in Pune. After partition, from Pakistan, the family settled in Pune. So that kind of an environment I grew up in. And again, coming back to school time, I was an average student. Not very, I was not that ace, first आने वाला बच्चा नहीं था. And I was okay, but I was not very interested in studying, even in school time. I love to sneak out. I love to play. I was more interested in कि बाहर कितने लोग बच्चे इकट्ठे हुए हैं. I need to go, and the friends used to be peeking from the window. So those are the memories that come to my mind. But when I was in 8th, I was enrolled in this tuition, and that was for math, and that changed me as a student. I really got to know that I loved math. I really liked numbers, and I was doing really well in math after going to that tuition. And we call our tuition teacher Bhaiya, and he made our learning so fun that we really looked forward to that evening hour of 5 p.m. that we used to walk together and go to the tuition, and it was so much fun. So that is a highlight of my school time. And actually I used to get 100 on 100 on math after that. So the friends in my class had named me Pandit. And that was after a trigonometry principle, that there was a rhyme that was given to us to remember that Pandit Badri Prasad Hari Hari Bole. And so after that, all the boys, especially in my class, used to call me Pandit. And that boys used to be bribing me before the test. अपना पेपर नीचे फेंकना, हमको हम उठाएंगे, हमको अगर कुछ नहीं आया तो हम तेरे को इशारा करेंगे, पेपर नीचे फेंकना, या साइड पे ऊपर बैठना, हमको तेरा मैथ. So those are the memories that are from my school days. And my math teacher is here, and my mom is here. So if you
Yes, I would like to unmute your mom first. तो आंटी आपको है ना वो, हाँ, हेलो, नमस्ते आंटी.
Namaste Ashish, nice talking to you and hearing about you.
नहीं, आप मेरे बारे में नहीं, आप अपनी बेटी के बारे में बताइए.
हाँ जी, तो पायल जो है शायद ईश्वर का सबसे ही प्रेशियस और ब्यूटीफुल गिफ्ट है मुझे, एंड आई एम प्राउड ऑफ हर. और बहुत ही प्यारा रिश्ता भगवान ने जो हमें दिया है, एंड वी रियली एंजॉयड हर चाइल्डहुड लाइक एनीथिंग. शी वाज नॉट टू एक्सैगरेट बट वेरी ब्यूटीफुल किड with the curly hairs. I still remember for the first time when I held her in my hands, and that I just cannot express that moment. And she is a lovable and most loved child in my family because she was the first grandchild. So both grandparents really loved her, and Papa is not here, but his blessings are there. And she as a childhood, she was really loving to with the people. She never wanted to be alone. Always she wanted कि मेरे आसपास लोग रहे, बच्चे रहे, और हमेशा हमारा घर भी भरा ही रहता था. और उसके बाद इसका इनिशियल स्कूल जो था सेंट हेलिनास में इसको डाला. टिल सेकेंड स्टैंडर्ड शी वाज देयर. बाद में बिकॉज मैं भी सर्विस करती थी, हमारे टाइम थोड़े क्लैश होने लग गए, तो इसको मैंने केंद्रीय विद्यालय में अपने साथ डाल दिया. और जैसे ही केंद्रीय विद्यालय में आई, शी वाज मोर इंटरेस्टेड इन गोइंग आउट, प्लेइंग और बातें करना लोगों से, पढ़ाई में कम ध्यान देना. तो हमेशा मुझे कंप्लेंट्स भी मिलते रहते थे टीचर्स के. लेकिन ठीक, घर पे भी मैं काफी पढ़ाती थी. जैसे ही होमवर्क खत्म करवाया, शी यूज्ड टू रन प्लेइंग, और जैसे वापस आती थी फिर से रिवाइज करती थी मैं टेस्ट के लिए, तो 0 0. फिर डांट खा के फिर मैं पढ़ाती थी रात को इसको और सुबह उठ के पापा भी रिवाइज करवाते थे इसको, फिर हम इसको टेस्ट के लिए भेजते थे. दैट इज हाउ 6 तक पढ़ाया. बाद में मैंने इसको गिवन अप कर दिया. मैंने कहा अब आप खुद पढ़ो, डिफिकल्टी होगी तो मेरे पास आना. दैट इज हाउ शी वाज इन द स्कूल. till 6 she was mediocre. After that she started doing her own and she did really very well. और ये है कि इसको डांस वगैरह सब में पार्टिसिपेट करने का बहुत शौक होता था. एंड मोस्ट मेमोरेबल थिंग इज कि हर डांस में इसको, क्योंकि ये सुंदर भी थी और भारत माता बना के खड़े कर देते थे पीछे. बहुत सभी डांसेस में भारत माता बना के झंडा देके पीछे खड़ा कर देते थे. एंड शी यूज्ड टू बी वेरी हैप्पी. और बाकी ऐसे स्कूल की मेमोरीज हैं अच्छी. बाकी जो ये आज कर रही है साहस में या यहाँ पे यूएस में जो लाइफ इसकी चल रही है, इसको देखकर तो मैं बिलीव ही नहीं कर सकती कि ये वही पायल है जिसको मैंने पाला है. बिकॉज ये एक बहुत ही डिपेंडेंट, टिमिड एंड नॉट वेरी बोल्ड एज अ चाइल्ड थी जब तक ये इसका बचपन था. हर चीज के लिए पापा ये कर दो, पापा वो कर दो, बाहर से कुछ लाना है पापा चलो, ये चलो, कॉलेज चलो, स्कूल चलो, एवरीवेयर. लाइक शी नेवर यूज्ड टू गो अलोन. और यहाँ आकर देखा तो कार भी चला रही है, सब कुछ खुद कर रही है. और जब शुरू में आई तो मैं सपने में भी देखती थी कि पायल यूएस में कहाँ गई, क्या गई. तो इसका श्रेय तो रोहित को जाता है पूरा. उसने इसको इतना बोल्ड और इंडिपेंडेंट बना दिया कि मैं बता नहीं सकती. वो पूरा श्रेय रोहित को जाता है. और आज जो ये सोशल वर्क कर रही है, इसकी स्टार्ट तो इसको मैंने 2nd स्टैंडर्ड में ही देख ली थी. सेंट हेलिनाज में इनको एक ऐसे लिखवाया गया मदर टेरेसा के बारे में. तो वो काफी, मतलब 2nd स्टैंडर्ड के हिसाब से कम 4-5 पेज का ऐसे था. तो मैंने भी कहा ये कैसे टीचर है 2nd को इतना बड़ा ऐसे कर. देन शी आफ्टर दैट शी सेड कि इवन आई वांट टू बिकम मदर टेरेसा. सबसे इसके ये जो स्प्राउट शुरू हो गए थे. एंड शी हैड दैट नेचर ऑल्सो, सबके साथ जाके हेल्प करना, किसी का दुख में दुखी हो जाना. एंड फ्रेंड्स के साथ भी बहुत शेयर करती थी. और इस तरह से मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा अंदाज था कि शी विल. देन शी वेंट इनटू बीएससी 2nd ईयर में. मुझे आके फिर से बोल रही है कि मुझे ऐसा कुछ करना है MSW. तब तो इतना कॉमन नहीं था, होगा भी तो मुझे हमें नहीं पता था ऐसे. तो मैं अपनी लाइब्रेरी गई, लाइब्रेरियन को पूछा, शी गेव मी अ बुक. फिर मैंने इसके बारे में सब पढ़ा, अपनी तैयारी कर ली थी दैट इफ शी विशेस. फिर बाद में बीएससी हो गया, फिर MSW करना था. तो हमने तब तक इसकी एंगेजमेंट भी हो चुकी थी रोहित से. तो रोहित से भी डिस्कस किया. एंड देन दैट इज हाउ शी स्टार्टेड MSW. और बहुत अच्छा किया. शी वाज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट स्टूडेंट ओवर देयर.
Thank you, auntie. Thank you for sharing all these experiences with us and our listeners. So thank you very much. तो अब मैं आपको म्यूट करता हूँ आंटी. सो पायल, वी विल अनम्यूट योर भैया. यू सेड राज नायर, राइट? इज ही लॉग्ड इन एज संस्कृति नायर?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let me unmute him. भैया, you'll have to. हाँ, okay. आपको हमारी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है?
Yes.
Yes. So first of all, welcome to our show, Rubaru, and thank you very much for coming here. We would like to hear from you a little bit about Payal.
हाँ, पायल ने जैसे मेरा अभी उसके इंट्रोडक्शन स्पीच में दिया कि आई हैव इंस्पायर्ड हिम, दैट मेड मी वेरी प्राउड पहले तो. लेकिन अभी मेरे को वो दिन याद आ रहे हैं जब वो एक चुलबुल सी लड़की मेरे पास आई थी, बोली भैया मेरे को मैथ्स तो बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है, अभी मम्मी ने मेरे को भेजा है तो आप देखो, आप मेरे से तो कुछ होने वाला नहीं है, मेरे को तो मैथ्स बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है. तो मैंने उसको पहले बताया, पायल तू पहले मैथ्स से डरना छोड़ दे. मैथ्स तू डरेगी नहीं, मैथ्स को तू समझेगी तो तेरे लिए बहुत इजी हो जाएगा. बोले भैया मैं बहुत ट्राई किया है, मेरे से नहीं होता है. मेरा ठीक है, देखेंगे हम. फिर धीरे धीरे मेरे को इंटेलिजेंट तो पहले ही से थी, धीरे धीरे हम मेरे वे ऑफ टीचिंग से हो गया या उसके खुद के इंटेलिजेंस से हो गया. उसने धीरे धीरे पिकअप करना चालू किया और धीरे धीरे हमारे क्लास की स्टार हो गए वो. तो उसके साथ जो फ्रेंड्स भी थे वो भी थोड़े से अच्छे इंटेलिजेंस थे. तो फिर कंपैरिजन होने लगा, एक दूसरे में फाइट, एक दूसरे में एग्जाम में एक दूसरे से आगे मार्क्स लेने का जो कंपटीशन चालू हो गया. उस कंपटीशन के तरीके से उसका मैथ्स धीरे धीरे इम्प्रूव होने लगा, उसको मैथ्स में इंटरेस्ट आने लगा. और फिर धीरे धीरे वो भी मेरे को अपने स्कूल के एक्सपीरियंस कि भैया मेरे को पंडित बोलने लगे अभी स्कूल में. जो लड़की मैथ्स को बिल्कुल डरती थी, अब मेरे को पंडित बोलने लगी। और उस जर्नी के बाद 10th के बाद तो मैं उसकी लाइफ में उतना हूँ था नहीं, लेकिन फिर भी हर अपने जो अचीवमेंट रहता है या कुछ भी रहता है वो मेरे को जरूर इन्फॉर्म करती थी, फोन करके बताती थी, या मेरे मेरे में इन टच अब तक रही है वो। और मैं उसके पूरी लाइफ के जर्नी में, अभी तक के लाइफ के जर्नी में जो कुछ उसने अचीव किया उसके लिए मैं अपने आप को बहुत बड़ा प्राउड फील करता हूँ। और मेरी स्टूडेंट, और आज उसका जो जो कर रही है, आज वो जो जो मुकाम पे पहुंची है, वो उसका हार्ड वर्क है और उसका इंटेलिजेंस है, और प्लस वो एकदम क्या है, उसका जो मन है वो सबके लिए है, इसके लिए वो इतना तरक्की भी कर पाई है और आगे तरक्की भी करेगी। और मेरे ब्लेसिंग्स पूरे उसके साथ हैं। और जो उसने नया इनिशिएटिव्स चालू किया है उसके लिए मैं उसको कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस भी करता हूँ, बेस्ट विशेस भी देता हूँ, और आगे वो बहुत ही इसमें वो अच्छा करे। और मेरी तरफ से कुछ भी मदद कैसे भी, चाहे वो किसी भी वे में हो, आई विल वेरी मच रेडी टू हेल्प हर आउट।
Thank you very much, Rajiv. Thank you very much for sharing all this with our listeners and with us. And once again, thank you and welcome to this program. तो अब मैं आपको म्यूट करता हूं. So Payal, I feel that you have another friend here, who is Prerna, I believe.
Anjali.
Oh, Anjali. Okay. So I would like to unmute her. Just a second. Anjali Kanade, right? That's the one? Okay. Anjali, I am trying to unmute you. Hello, Anjali. Are you getting the message for unmuting yourself?
Hello.
Okay, now. Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us? I don't think she can hear us. I think Payal.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you now.
Okay, good. So, hello, Anjali. Welcome to our show, Rubaru. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your childhood experiences with Paya.
So I remember when we were really besties in 8th, 9th and 10th standard. We used to enjoy the backbench and the singing and tiffin sharing, basically. So very loving and a very caring friend of mine is Payal. I remember like she would never hesitate to say that okay, whenever I say that okay मैं तेरा टिफिन खाऊंगी, तो she be खा ले कोई problem नहीं है. It was like that. It was like there was nothing at her back of her mind that she will say no or something like that. Very sharing. And the best thing which I really remember is she was so caring about when we had gone for her marriage. For the first time, actually, I left my parents and went with her for marriage at Delhi, and I got sick there, unfortunately, and on the day of the marriage. So that was a really bad situation. But she made it a point that someone took me to the doctor and then bring me back to the marriage hall. And in that situation also, when she's about to leave for the hall and all, that was really caring for me. And I really love her nature of care. And I really admire her for the firmness when MSW was not at all very like hot thing or like very good thing to join or something like that. She was so firm that she will be doing MSW, and she knew that what she was going to do. So that was really good for me. And always she used to be a very fun loving and very carefree kind of a person, whereas like I was a very serious kind of a person. But whenever she used to come, she used to make us so happy and so fun of the place wherever we used to be. I just enjoyed being at her place. Her papa was a bit strict, but we used to enjoy in her room at the corner of the room, dancing and enjoying. That was really awesome. And one more thing I admire, like on my birthdays, like I never used to call my friends like Payal and Prerna. I never used to call them, but they will make it a point, even when we started our job and all, they would make it a point to come to my house for that birthday. It was like unbelievable thing for me. Those days were really golden days for me.
So thank you very much, Anjali, for sharing these
For being
experiences.
friends with me, Payal.
Yeah. Thank you, Anjali, for sharing this experience. Thank you very much. So, Payal, what I am understanding, Payal, is you, Anjali, and Prerna, like ये तीन तिगाड़ा थे तुम तीनों जो, like you were very close friends. Am I right?
Yes, very right. We always were together, hung together in school. Even if I remember, when we were growing up, 10th, 11th, 12th, boys used to hit on us. And I, because my mom was in the school, I definitely could not do anything here and there. I had to go in the straight line because teachers were always, on me. And other than teachers, my friend Prerna, she always used to say, पढ़ने का टाइम है, पढ़ाई करो, यहाँ वहाँ ध्यान मत दो. I was proposed by one of my school mates, and then she said कि ये सब फालतू की चीजों में ध्यान नहीं देना है, पढ़ना है. So I still remember, and I used to be really scared of her. So
तो जब रोहित ने पूछा तब उसने कुछ नहीं कहा?
तब हमारा झगड़ा हुआ था.
Oh, झगड़ा प्रेरणा के साथ?
Yes.
Okay, then I have to unmute Prerna then. We need to know this. Okay, Prerna, I'm unmuting you. Hi, Prerna.
Hi there. Hi.
So thank you very much for coming on our show, Rubaru, and sharing your thoughts on Payal. So please let us know those secrets that Payal might not share with us.
Some secrets I will not be allowed to share. Auntie's there, so I'm things are on. But it was really fun time, and as she rightly said, I would be like sometimes her monitor, watching around. ये नहीं करना है, वो नहीं करना है, college में ये करना है. So lucky she that we were not talking at that time, and
Rohit proposed.
And I think I'm very happy the memories which are there, really golden days of school. जब मैं 9th में पहली बार आई, she was one of the first few friends to make me comfortable in the sense सबसे introduce कराना, चाहे वो मुझे मराठी में गालियाँ सिखाती थी, और she talk about things to make sure that the newcomer is comfortable. Canteen लेके जाती थी. She was one of the very few kids those days canteen money जिनके पास होता था. So she would make sure she's sharing it with all. So the glimpse of this caring and taking everyone together was from there, from 9th standard that I have been with her. Tuition जो भी मैंने की होगी पुणे में, it's all thanks to her, whether it was the tuition with maths भैया or any science tuitions, anywhere she would take me along with her. So big thanks on that front as well. And as Anjali said, we would make sure we will try to come together at least for birthdays, क्योंकि बाद में 11वीं 12वीं के बाद सब अलग-अलग निकल गए, but college wise we had different subjects in first year. But Payal would really make it an effort. I remember हमने B.Ed के लिए apply किया था. I don't know if she remembers that or not. Luna leke, she came to my house to convince me should we go for B.Ed or not. Those days phones were not there. And I just cannot forget that example. उसका छोटा cousin brother और वो दोनों जने आए, and it was such a surprise. And it was a big deal those days to land up with the lack of communication modes and stuff. So very, very sweet of her. We discussed a lot about it, jana hai, nahi jana hai, and in the end both of us did not go. And we landed in same Varias College, and it was good, fun 3 years out there, on and off. That's when she introduced that Rohit is there in her life, and it was good to know him. And I think it's a great jodi, I would say, really. And I always pray for them, how they have come together and supported each other after moving to US also, I think initially it was not that easy for Payal, but Rohit has really stood by like a rock hard, and as also Auntie said, lot of support that he has given. And of course, she going into a new country. I know we were very patriotic about India, and we are even now, and we will always say, "Kab jana hai wapas, kab jana hai wapas," and it's
Right.
evergreen. And I think it is. I can continue for another hour, but others should get a chance also. A
आपने
great friend.
फिर भी बताया नहीं झगड़ा किस बात पे हुआ था.
बहुत ज़्यादा याद नहीं है, too many.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prerna, for sharing the experiences with us. Okay, so Payal, let's move on. तो हम आगे बात करते हैं आपके your days at MSW experience, basically, your master's in social work. So tell us a little bit about that. How did that happen, and what are the stories around it?
Right. So I met Rohit. I did my bachelor's in chemistry. You heard that how I was, what kind of a student I was in school. So I went undecided. And so where to go, and my mom is a chemistry major, and so then by default she convinced me, okay, chemistry kar lo. So I did my bachelor's in chemistry honors, but I really did not enjoy it. And while I was doing my chemistry, I joined this program called NSS, National Service Scheme, and where I got exposure to social work and social services. I went and I lived in a literacy village, and I did projects around Pune, and that really gave me the feeling that is what I really enjoyed. And so I met some friends at that time who were talking about MSW, and that's where I learned that, okay, there can be a profession line, and they all wanted to, they were preparing for Tata Institute of Social Sciences, which is the #1 school in India to do your MSW. So I also wanted to go there. I came home and I told my parents that, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do MSc in chemistry. I really did not, I think I'm very good at that. So there was, they were not very excited about it. But then my father was always, okay, do what you want to do, and never stopped us from doing anything that came to our mind. But he said that, I will be comfortable if you do something in Pune. Because I always lived in home, never went to hostel. And so he was a very protective kind of a father. So I agreed. And then I found out that there was Karve Institute of Social Sciences in Pune. It is the #2 school in India to do your master's in social work. And it was not easy to get in. There was competitive exams. There were layers of interviewing, group discussions, and you had to really prove yourself. The application was countrywide. So I sat through that competition, and by God's grace, I got in, I made it. And we had to choose our specialization. So I chose my specialization as medical and psychiatry, thinking that, I have done chemistry, so maybe I will be better off, understanding the medical part of it. But I really enjoyed my 2 years. As a student, I think I changed. And then the other factor for my change at that time was Rohit. So, Rohit came in life just like the movie Main Pyar Tha. So like how Bhagyashree came into Salman Khan's house, and, their love story started. So Rohit came into Pune and into our family. My grandfather was his local guardian. He studied in AFMC. So that's how he came into our life, my life. And so in my bachelor's, really, I studied less and was in my, in that marriage love kind of a role more. So we were hanging out, we were dating and all of that in my bachelor's. And then he had to go back to Delhi to continue his internship. His medicine got over. So that phase of my life somehow was interrupted. And so he went to Delhi and I joined MSW. So it was really good for me because I had no other distractions. I was not interested in anything else at that time, but I focused on this. I thoroughly enjoyed my learning. I got great exposure. I learned research. I worked in Sassoon Hospital. There is MIMH, Mental Institute of Mental Health. That's where I did my internship. I learned a lot about mental health disorders and how it was a big taboo even at that time, a stigma. And we used to get patients from villages, and they would think that it was bhoot pret, and so really work in mental health in India really starts at that grassroots level, where you are trying to educate the entire family that it is not bhoot pret, but you really are sick. Convincing them to take their medicines regularly, working with the psychiatrist in collaboration. I worked with a lot of bipolar families in that posting. I learned about the disease and treatment, and how social support and empathizing with a patient who's dealing with mental health is what I really understood at that phase. I also worked in another not-for-profit that operates in Sassoon. So I got exposure to the hospital system there. It was amazing learning. All in all, MSW, changed me. I learned about social problems not only in Pune but all over the country in India. I went to Calcutta for my research posting there. I had some exposure to understand Sonagachi, which is one Asia's largest red light area. So I understood how life is there. It's very easy for us to stigmatize or become biased about different things, the sex workers. But I learned that it is a country in a country. They had everything in Sonagachi. There was a bank, there was a school, there was everything operating. So it was amazing learning. And there I actually, as my mom in the beginning said about Mother Teresa, I really in Calcutta was able to see the work of Mother Teresa, where there was so many amazing social organizations that were operating for the underprivileged. So that's where I really got my grooming and my my route, that this is exactly what I want to do. I before talking too much about it, I can talk about social work and MSW non-stop. But I would like for my teacher Geeta Rao, to chime in and talk about her experience as a teacher for me.
Sure. Let me do that. I am trying to unmute you, Geeta ji. All right. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Namaskar, Geeta ji.
Yeah. It's my privilege to talk about Payal, but she has been a very great student of mine. She was very sincere, and I think being a teacher's daughter, she was disciplined right from the beginning. I remember she never bunked the lectures. She had all 100% attendance at fieldwork, and she was very good in fieldwork, which is the core of MSW training. And we had gone to a Calcutta study tour, and I remember she had told me that some of her would-be, that is Rohit's relatives will come and fetch her, and she would like to visit them. I said, you can go visit it, but discipline says that you must return to the place where we are all staying together. At night, you can't stay out. So she was initially very upset. But then when I explained to her that if I allow you, there are some boys who want to go out on their own in the what do they call train, underground train, and then I can't say no to them, and I will have no control over other students also.
Okay.
So you please try and understand. And she was very, very sweetly, she agreed. And then her relatives also came and dropped her and literally handed her over to me and said that now that she's with you, we are also relieved. And then I explained to them why the rule is like that. And I am also answerable to the institute authorities. No? If a
Right.
student is not there with the whole group, then they question.
Right.
So she gave no trouble, absolutely. She was a very, very sincere student and very confident about what she was doing. But she was never overconfident. Whenever she had any problems, she would approach immediately, ask her difficulties, get her thoughts and this thing sorted, and then she would proceed. And I still remember her. And she was asked to do group work with bariatric cases after she became a professional. She contacted me all the way from US. She said, "Madam, I'm stuck. Please tell me." And at the moment I guided her, she got back and told me that it's very well going on very well, and I'm very happy with the work. So she has this. She works with her own initiative. But anytime she's stuck, she'll get back to you, take guidance and go ahead. That was very nice. It's very nice of her. I'm very happy that she has started Sahas.
Thank you, Geeta ji. Thanks for sharing your experience with us.
Yeah.
And I hope you will continue enjoying this show. So yeah. So Payal, just a check on time. It's 12:36. I mean, I guess it's 9:36 at your end on the West Coast, and we have a lot to cover. So let's move a little bit faster on a couple of other things in your life, because I want to utilize this session to talk more on your social causes that you have started, which is Apna Sapna here in Cincinnati and Sahas for Cause in Los Angeles. But before we do that, just give us a brief history, I would say, on your journey from India to the US, and then how you lived in New York, Chicago, Cincinnati, LA. Try to cover this whole journey in the next maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, definitely. So, coming from a family of Hum Aapke Hain Kaun and Maine Pyar Kiya, to coming to New York, it was very difficult for me because, Rohit was in residency and very busy, and I was alone living in dorm, and, total lifestyle change, did not know what to do. So those were my initial challenges. Missing family. I think every immigrant who's hearing me can understand, what I am trying to say. But I was lucky enough that I interviewed in the same hospital, very soon after coming to New York, and I was offered job even before my social security number was there. So that I consider as a huge blessing. And so I started my social work journey from New York after my migration. I worked in the hospital in neonatal ICU, OBGYN area, and I learned about the social problems here in New York, in US. So I'll just give you one example of my learning. So my first case, and I presented to my supervisor at that time, and I said I presented the whole case story, and the identified problem was the patient was unwed mother. That means pregnancy out of wedlock. And so I made the case presentation, and my supervisor, after listening, said, "So what is the problem?" I said, she is an unwed mother. And he said, "That's not a problem." And so that was my learning, that in the cultural difference. In India, when I worked in Sassoon Hospital, we had an adoption center where we used to keep these mothers and help them deliver. And those kids were, most of the time, were given for adoption. But over here in United States, it is an accepted thing and it's okay. So, just giving you an example of how the two cultures and learning as a student. So that's where my journey started in New York. New York was amazing because for the first time I saw so many diverse people of all colors, sizes, shapes. Traveling in subway, I could hear all kind of languages, and that was a big exposure to me. because I always lived in Pune, and right from Pune to New York, so diversity was amazing to learn. I was also there when 9/11 happened. So I volunteered at the ground zero, and I used to go there for therapy for the post-traumatic stress disorder clients. And so that was an amazing, heart-touching experience for me. And how, as an immigrant, time changed. How New York was looking at me before 9/11 and how New York was looking at me after 9/11 was very different. I was accepted before, and after that, people were thinking that, who am I? Am I Muslim? Am I Hindu? I'm a brown-looking girl. And I saw that confusion even in the peers that I was working with. So that was an important thing that happened to me in New York. Then we moved to Chicago, where and in New York, I had my first pregnancy, first baby. Roshni was born, and being pregnant without family support, I had a complicated pregnancy. Staying home, I had to quit my job. I was homebound. It was an experience as a female, immigrant female. That those are the challenges that we go through because we don't have the support system. But I today in the pandemic, I can relate that how just being homebound, can be stressful. So that was kind of my limitation inside the house. I could not move. So that, and then coming to Chicago, Rohit decided to continue his education and do fellowship. So I followed him, and I was pregnant again. I wanted to do my PhD. But could not because my pregnancies are complicated. And so again, the second experience of similar, limiting yourself, isolating. It was not bad because friends could still come, we could still go to people's house, but it was still kind of limitation. And in New York, I joined this mental health hospital, and I worked in intensive mental health care, where I again could brush up all the psychiatry that I'd learned in MSW. I saw all the intensive cases that you can imagine. I was able to practice everything that I'd learned. I got exposure to another minority in that experience of LGBTQ. I worked a lot with them, and the hospital that I was working with was actually majority of the staff members were LGBTQ, and I was actually minority in the colleagues. So it was hard because the cases were really severe, schizophrenic cases, really violent cases. So initial days, I used to come home and I used to cry on certain days and wanted to kind of quit. And Rohit said, you can, but I knew that I was learning a lot. So I went back. And I am glad that I did that because I got a strong holding on my mental health experience there. Okay, then I will fast forward my story to coming to Cincinnati.
So before you do that, so let me get this right. You were in New York, Roshni was born. You were in Chicago, Sanchi was born. You were in Cincinnati, Krish was born. Now you are in LA. Are we expecting something? Okay, Sahas is born. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So from Chicago, I moved to Cincinnati, and that was also difficult for me because as Prerna said, and as most of us immigrate, when we come here, we come with the aim, and our aim of coming to United States was to educate ourselves, gain the skills, and go back. Because our families were there, we wanted to go back. We wanted to go and serve the community back home. And so my hope was that after Chicago, the education was done, that we will go back. But somehow it didn't happen. There were some great opportunities for Rohit, and we decided, okay, we're going to live here for some more years, gain some experience, and then go back. So then we decided to come to Cincinnati, and again, starting scratch, new chapter, really knew nobody in Cincinnati. We bought our first house in Cincinnati. But very soon, Cincinnati is an amazing place. Very soon, I was able to make such great friendships there. Cincinnati is an amazing place, and you were the hero at that time, Ashish Jha, because when I met people, they said, "Oh, the must-know couple is Pinky and Ashish. Somehow get to know them and get yourself invited to their parties. Once you go there, you know the entire Cincinnati." And I remember that I met you at one dinner, and I was actually waiting for you to say, "Hey, come tomorrow to my party," and you did. So I was so happy that day. Just a little glimpse, but Cincinnati, now that I think from my experience, I feel that the process of integration was happening to me as an immigrant, and now I can use that word integration, the scientific word, because I got my I got my citizenship. I became an American citizen when I came to Cincinnati. So it was just an paper that I took, but actually it was making me the citizen of two big cultures and countries. And I think it's a process how an immigrant acculturates into a host country like America. So that was happening. I was getting very comfortable with the phenomenons that happen here in US of celebration of Christmas, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was no more just a Black Friday sale for me. It became a festival where we all used to get together in Cincinnati in Rashmi's house and celebrate together. Also, parenting in Cincinnati was a learning. We as immigrants, we bear that extra pressure that we have to groom our kids into both cultures. We have to teach them, we have to give them the heritage of our country, India, and also make them comfortable in this country, United States. And so I think we all did it together in Cincinnati. We all helped each other, taking kids into classes and helping each other. And I think that became the family for us. Teaching Bharatnatyam to our kids, teaching Hindi to our kids. We as a community participating in Punjabi Cultural Association, doing giddas together and bhangras together. I think that is what a real process of, being an immigrant, becoming that global citizen is, where you are going to keep both the things together and treasure them. Both are important. And so all of this learning, has been kicking into my head, and I have been using this experience, and that's why I started Apna Sapna Club in Cincinnati.
So I was going to ask you about that. Like, how did Apna Sapna happen? Like, what came to your mind, and why did you think that it was important to start something like that? And who all came along with you to start something like that? Because I know that is still going on, even though you are in LA. I think the Apna Sapna Club continues here in Cincinnati. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so you're right. I started to do my second master's in Cincinnati, in Masters in Health Administration, and I went part-time in my job at that time. So I had, my Friday was a little lighter, and there were two other physicians in the community who also had their Fridays off, Jyoti Sachdeva and Anisha Singh. Anisha Singh is a geriatrician and Jyoti is a psychiatrist. So we started meeting over coffee. And we were talking that we must do something more than what we do just for our jobs and lives. And we made big plans. Let's do that. And really, nothing happened. So I suggested, let's do something small and simple. And our common observation that was our parents, the seniors who are here with us in Cincinnati. We meet, get together, but when we look at the parents, they are quiet, they are sitting in the corner. Sometimes they are talking to somebody, sometimes they are just mum, and that really made me feel bad. All the time I tried to go and talk to them for some time, and that was about it. So I wanted to do more than that. We wanted to do together more than that. So we decided to open up our basements and do like a chai party for seniors once in a month. That was our thought. And I said, I'll never mind this. And Aliha said, I'll bring this and psychotherapy session for them, give them the opportunity to chit chat. But to our surprise, as we started to roll this idea, we sent the emails, the community came together. Bhai, who stepped up. He said, I will give you food for really, really low rate. $5, he gave us food.
So for those who
Jay
don't
Baby,
know, I just wanted to mention that for those who don't know who Manan Bhai is, he is the guy who owns Bharat FM. He is the leader. He is the CEO for Bharat FM because he has a big passion for media. But at the same time, his main profession right now is the restaurant, the Curry's Cincinnati that he has right now. So just wanted to give an update to people who are listening to the show.
Yeah.
Go ahead, continue.
So Curry's stepped in and they gave us food. Jay Bedi, who is owner of one of the banquets, a big banquet there, he stepped in and he said there is nothing happens in the daytime. So please use the space. So the basement really never happened. It started with a big bang, lavish. And so transportation was a problem. How are seniors going to come to this forum? So we started to reach out to the IT professionals who were working from home. And they came to draw and and our first Apna Sapna Club was a big hit. We had like close to almost 70 to 80 who came, and it was amazing. And then there is no looking back after that. There was a time when my masters got hectic and I said, I want to slow down the frequency, and everybody stood up and said, no, Apna Sapna is going nowhere. You do your masters or you don't do. We have to meet, I don't remember what the frequency was, once in 2 weeks or something like that. So the beautiful part is that it is still continuing.
So who is handling that over here right now in Cincinnati?
I think Geeta Menon is one of the seniors, and she's continuing and she's doing an amazing job. I still get the emails, I still get the pictures, the seniors still get together and they are organizing. And there is a lot of psychological and social phenomenon that happens in Apna Sapna Club. Isolation, loneliness is taken care of. And if it is not taken care of in time, depression, anxiety, and other mental health disorders can happen.
You're right.
Suicides can happen. And so it is a mental health prevention project. And so that's why, it's important, and I'm glad that it's happening in Cincinnati.
Thank you very much, Payal. I mean, that's an amazing effort that you guys started, and I always wish we from Bharat FM actually we always wish good luck and all good things for Apna Sapna. Now moving to LA, tell us a little bit about why that happened and what was your feeling initially? I mean, I know you have shared a little bit with me, but let's share that with our listeners too. And how, before we get to Sahas, what was your life all about?
Yeah, so, I may say there is again another change in my life. I was very kind of settled in Cincinnati, happy doing, working in Cincinnati Children's Hospital, amazing experience, doing research, doing amazing job, and learning a lot. We were happy, we were settled. Definitely winter was bothering us, and a bigger botheration for me more than winter was again that immigrant piece that is not here, not there. I again had that zeal of going back. I wanted to go back home. My kids were growing, I was getting insecure, I wanted to take my family back. And so then Rohit was interviewing. We got an amazing opportunity from Bangalore to go back. We almost were about to sign our, on the fine lines, and we were preparing ourselves to go back. But then again, this amazing opportunity from LA just popped up from nowhere. And so another confusion in our life, and Rohit came to me, hey, by the way, what do you think about it? And so, as being my good friend that, I was like, I don't know.
Not ready for the change.
No, but yeah, I was so ready to go back, and then this happened. And so I let Rohit take this another adventure also, because it is a good opportunity, not only for Rohit, but also for my kids. LA being, this big city full of opportunities, amazing universities. So we decided to come to LA. Yes, practically it made sense, but emotionally I was kind of devastated because my hope of going back, I think I thought that now that my kids are again in the end of middle school and entering high school, I thought that that return will never happen. And so I was kind of struggling with myself, and I was offered a job by CHLA, Children's Hospital of LA, to join their global health at that time. But I said no. I need some time for myself. I need to revisit, reevaluate that, what do I want to do in life? Because my passion was to go back and serve country and serve, females back in India. And so then I thought of helping my family settle here, and I found this opportunity to volunteer in a not-for-profit organization. So that was the first ever time that I took break from healthcare. I've always worked in hospitals in healthcare before that. So I joined this not-for-profit as a volunteer, and it's a very well-known not-for-profit in LA, in California. It's called Sahara. I went there, and when the executive director there saw my resume, she said that, why don't you come and join us? Why do you want to volunteer? And I said, okay. And so I joined them as their director of programs. And the thing that attracted her was my experience of Apna Sapna Club. They wanted to start an older adults arm to their program. And then my experience at Cincinnati Children's Hospital of doing process improvement, being in the different departments that I have been, bariatrics, asthma, and global health. So she wanted me to bring that system in there and a process in there. And so I did use, and then the MHA, the learning that I had with MHA and MSW, it was an absolutely amazing opportunity to combine both these and use myself as a professional there. And so Sahara's main focus was domestic violence. And I was very complacent about South Asian culture. And I always thought that, we are the best. We are the model minority. We are, and in Cincinnati, we had that privileged life, working and partying and thinking about, not to repeat clothes was the kind of lifestyle we had in Cincinnati. But coming to LA, I got to see that there were a lot of social problems that South Asians were going through. And it was a big learning for me and an eye-opener that domestic violence happens to a great extent in South Asian community. And my blinders were taken off. And as I gained experience there, I learned a lot about that, how trauma-informed care, cognitive behavioral therapy, and support system makes a huge difference when a female who's an immigrant coming from outside United States is going through domestic violence or sexual assault or relationship issues or trafficking by her in-laws, how helpful these things can be. Mm-hmm. And so I just loved what I was doing and the impact that I was making in so many lives. And I think I got my holding and I got my answer. There is something that life is telling you every time. Why I was not able to go back at each juncture, I got my answer. Because I think I can make a bigger impact by living here and helping our community here. Because I can speak several languages from South Asia. I understand the culture there and I understand the culture here. Mm-hmm. I understand that there is a concept of frozen identity. When an immigrant comes, for them, India is just frozen there. Mm-hmm. I left India in 2000 and for me, India is India in 2000. Mm-hmm. When I go back, I just don't like to see so many highways. All the routes are changed. Things are changing, right? But in my mind, my India is there. And so that is a real phenomenon. Mm-hmm. And the bigger problem that we have is that the families who came in 60s or 70s, they want their kids to be married to females back in India, in their village. Mm-hmm. And they do go. There is a concept of holiday bride.
Right.
where they take their son to the village of Gujarat or village of Punjab, and they'll see 50 girls, 50 families, and they'll choose one, get married, and the parents are very happy that they got their son married to a girl of their choice. But there is a problem, because the girl of their choice is also not the girl of their choice in their imagination.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that is where the problem starts, and that is where the root of domestic violence is in South Asian community.
Right. So how did Sahas happen? At what point did you decide that, okay, I need to have something completely different where I can follow my passion and at the same time do something good for the community, for the social cause, for the community? How did that happen? And how did you get people together, like-minded people together, to work with you and to help you in your journey?
So Sahas for Cause is a not-for-profit organization. We are a 501(c) registered not-for-profit. We operate in Southern California. We are a women-run organization completely. And so our mission is to educate, enable, and empower South Asian immigrant community to improve their quality of life. So we serve South Asian seniors. We have different chapters through which we operate. So the mission of Apna Sapna Club continues in our senior health chapter, and the name of our group therapy forum here is Mauj Masti Sehat. And we meet every week post-COVID. Before COVID, we used to meet 2 times in a month. So this was operating in Orange County and in LA County. And post-COVID, because loneliness, depression, and the need to socialize and talk about health so much, that we have rampant our frequency to meeting once in a week. And every week I have on an average 80 seniors who join my Zoom. So there is a high demand for Mauj Masti Sehat here too in LA. We also give them individual therapy, because seniors have their own issues. Seniors have over here in our community, we do have issues of isolation, older adult abuse is there, neglect is there, and in our community we don't acknowledge it, and our seniors also don't want to take it out of the house. So Sahas is that safe zone for them, where if they are suffering from any issue, they can come and talk to us.
That was my another question, Payal, that how do these people find confidence in Sahas to open up and talk freely about it? Because based on my experience, even I have seen a lot of people that they might be going through something like a bigger problem, but they are not comfortable speaking it out in public. So how does Sahas help them in speaking out in public?
So, I mean to say, it is a process. We have been in operation for 1.5 years now. And so this group or this cohort of seniors, they know us and they are very comfortable with us. So, so they will seek one of us, one of the volunteers or myself, and they will take us in the corner. Of course, they will not, most of them don't open up in big groups, but they will open up us, one-on-one. And then that's how we take them into one-on-one therapy, one-on-one case management, and help them, through whatever problem they are facing. Either it's immigration, either it's citizenship, language problem. Language is a big problem. We had a case where a senior was dealing with Alzheimer's, and the family thought that she will never be able to get citizenship because she cannot give the test.
Okay.
So we were able to help her because there are waivers, there are ways where you will be waived your exam. So we coach them. So those are some examples, but there is a lot of financial fraud, medical neglect, older adult abuse that happens, and so Sahas is dedicated to help seniors fight that. So in addition to mental health, we are also a resource organization. We can refer. We have great collaborations with other not-for-profits in Southern California. So we work in collaboration with them. Yeah.
So there is also a youth wing for Sahas, right? Sahas Youth. And I believe your daughters Roshni and Sachi are heavily involved with that. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I would like Roshni or Sanchi. I'll unmute Roshni, and if both of you can talk through the same room or the same camera, that will be better. So Roshni, I'm trying to unmute you.
Hi,
Hi, Roshni. How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you. So, well, I have known you right from your childhood days. Actually, I've known you for a very long time, and and what do you guys think about the Sahas initiative that your mom has started, and how are you guys involved, and where do you see it going in future? How are you helping with the Sahas youth wing? Can you just let us know a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think we're both really proud of my mom for starting this. Like, it
We are
takes a lot of
too.
courage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Sahas Youth, like we started last summer because the youth wanted to bridge the gap between senior citizens and the youth, because we feel like a lot of us, like the youth here, our grandparents usually live in India. So by interacting with the seniors here through our technology classes, we were able to learn more from them and then also teach them about technology. So the technology aspect is because technology is prominent in all of our lives every day. So by teaching senior citizens more about technology, they're able to communicate better with us and communicate better with their friends all around the world. So this also helps to alleviate some of their isolation that they feel here. So we just feel like going forward, the youth will really make a big difference for Sahas for Cause. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Roshni. Sanchi, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, so we like along with our technology classes, we started a research project, and in that research project, we are working under two highly educated researchers to really understand how the research methodology, and we have youth from all over the country who, because it's COVID right now, we're meeting over Zoom every week to have meetings and discuss our current research project, which is about high school stress during COVID. And we're really learning about this. And along with that, we've also recently started to discuss about social justice issues. And we are in the process of creating a forum for that. And that's something that we have that's going to be in the works. And
Thank you, Roshni and Sanchi. We are very, very proud of you. As you are proud of your mother, we are proud of you as well for helping her out in this cause and helping the community. So keep up the good work and all the good best wishes from all of us over here. So thank you very much. All right. So Payal, I believe Mrunmayee, who works for your research and development wing, is also here, right?
Yes.
Can I unmute her, Mrunmayee? Okay, I'll unmute Mrunmayee. We are actually already over time, but I just want to cover a few things which I definitely had in mind that we have to cover.
Okay, I'm going to be very fast.
Okay, hi Mrunmayee. Yeah.
Hello everyone. So right now I would like to discuss 2 points. First is the research and development which we are doing is in light of the acculturation process that takes in the South Asian community. Acculturation is when people have difficulty adjusting from the home country to the host country. So we are trying to understand the population in light of the acculturation phenomena. For that, we've already had one research project which was ongoing, and we have published a presentation on the Women's Orange County Mental Health Platform. We have a second phase which is going to be going on, and we want to collect a lot of rich data and improve our data collecting methods for now. So we are focusing on that since we are very new. And second is drum rolls, please. We are planning to here
the drum rolls here.
Yeah, so we are planning to have our own show called Sahas on Your Side on Bharat FM, which will have a lot of information regarding psychological first aid and legal first aid for the South Asian community living in the United States right now. It's going to be extremely easy to understand, just small 30-minute sessions, and you can gain a lot of information from that. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Mrunmayee. That was short and sweet. I loved it. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time for joining us here today. All right, Payal, as I have mentioned, we are already over time, but before we end, I wanted to have your brother and Parag and Rohit talk a little bit about you. So let me try to unmute Parag. Where is he? Here. Okay, Parag, I'm sending you the request to unmute. Okay, can you hear us?
Absolutely. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good, good, very good. Thank you.
So tell us all the secrets that you know about Payal.
Well, you know what?
One secret I know. Let me tell you this. This is something that I was always amazed. Like Rohit I always used to come to Rohit and Payal's place, and Payal used to be on the phone, and Rohit used to be sitting with us, and I'm like, यार ये पायल किससे अकेले बात करती रहती है, जब देखो तब फोन पे लगी रहती है. पता चला भाई है. मैं बोला इतना भाई का प्यार तो मैंने कहीं नहीं देखा. And that is just amazing. She loves you to death. I can tell you that. I mean, she definitely loves you a lot. Okay, go ahead.
You know what? I completely agree with you. I'm blessed to have two mothers and not one. and unfortunately, both my mothers are sitting miles apart from me right now. I'm here in Hyderabad and they're in LA. So let's come back to Payal. I mean, I go back my growing up days and remember Payal looking after our maid, right? Looking after the underprivileged, the kids who could not afford, good schooling, good food. So I think a very emotional, very sentimental people's person who would give anything and everything that she has unreservedly. Right? So I think words are not enough to what this human being called Payal Sahani Kohli is. She does a lot to people without expecting anything back. Right? So my state here, I guess, is saying a lot. I'm not able to put those emotions into words, but I think she's an amazing human being. God sent, always caring, loving, and Sahas will go places under her leadership.
Definitely.
How not to discriminate. I have learned from her how to treat everybody equal, right? How to create a platform for people to shine. How to add little value to every single human that's around us.
Right.
So I think for me, definitely immense learning. I have, been on the call with her forever, for all these years, ever since she got married.
Yes.
I mean, I miss you, Payal, all the time.
Thank you, Parag, for sharing this with us and our audience. And as you mentioned, all our good luck and best wishes with Payal and with Sahas. We will do whatever possible. As Mrinmay already mentioned, we are planning a web series for Sahas. So wherever possible, whatever possible, we will definitely help Sahas. So thank you very much. So Payal, last but not the least, your hubby, Mr. Rohit Kohli, where is he? What name is he under? I don't even know. Who should I unmute?
Not sure. I think with mom. I don't know.
With mom? Okay, I'll try to unmute your mom then. Come on. Okay. All right. I'm trying to unmute her. Rohit, you're there?
Hi, everyone.
Hello. All right, sir. So you are the one responsible for taking her to LA. Now you better make sure that all the help that she needs for Sahas, which I know you do, but at the same time, everything that she needs with Sahas, make sure that she gets it, man.
On your command, sir. No. A really nice opportunity to kind of put everything together. I'm at the very end for a reason. I think, if I may say just a couple of things. One, on a personal note, Payal has always been my rock. She compliments me. I hope I compliment her.
Yes, you do. I can vouch for that.
So all those phone calls that she was making, I was paying the bills. So I compliment her. but on a serious note, I think what she has really done with her friends through Sahas here is amazing. You asked a question, I'll answer it because I was a witness. These are 5 friends here: Seema Gupta, Ekta Singh, Gitika, Tulsi, Raji Satish, and Payal. And she's collected more friends along the way, Rakhi Sahu and many, many other people. It's 100% volunteer organization that they have created. Nobody is receiving any money from what they are doing. Everybody is donating their time. Even their CPA, Mr. Prajapati, is donating his time. When have you seen a CPA donate their time? So their lawyer donates their time. So I think we are so proud. And how this is possible, that's the last thing I'm going to say. How this is possible is because Payal attracts, yes, she wants to serve people. And she has served, like Parag said, all the way from when she was a child in the house, through her NSS, through her MSW, through her time in New York at 9/11. Nobody wanted her or told her to go down to ground zero. She went to ground zero.
Right.
And on, all the things she has always given, but she attracts people who want to give back because she's doing something good. People want to join her.
Right.
And that's power. I think that's how Sahas is working. It's a volunteer organization. 1.5 years later, Payal continues to motivate, stimulate, educate people to give back. And that is the beauty of Payal and the power of Sahas.
Right.
And that's all I'll say.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rohit. I was just kidding. I know that you have always helped her in her journey and you will always support her in all the causes that she gets into. So thank you very much for that. All right. So Payal, finally, we are at the end of this session. Before we end, is there anything specific that you would like to mention before we end the show?
Yes, I would like to say that, yes, we are a completely volunteer organization, but as I am learning the business aspect of running a not-for-profit organization, nothing runs without finance. Nothing runs without money is what is my biggest learning. And so, I also want to give a big shout out to the community around here in LA. There have been some generous donors who have donated money to Sahas, and that's how we have been able to pull on our operations. Either it's women's health, placing the woman in shelter who is standing outside a police station, kicked out of the house, nobody nowhere to go. That's where Sahas comes in play. And we can only do all of this because we have these generous donors letting us work. My donation is that I have left a full-time job where I was getting paid to do what I was doing. I am donating my days to this cause because I really want it to become a machine that is helping the community. And I want to request to the community in Cincinnati, in New York, in Chicago, whoever is listening me, that if you can donate a small piece of your earning to Sahas, that will be a big contribution because we cannot continue or sustain this work at this pace if we don't have your donations. I am not good at this. I am also learning this, how to do it. But I think Bharat FM is a great platform to spread this word out. That whatever tax break you want to get from your donation, please give it to us. We are a 501(c)(3). We can give you that letter where you can get the tax break. Reach us out. Our number is 562-526-2508. And our email is info@sahasforcause.org. Sahas is SAAHAS. Sahas for cause, one word.
Do you have a website as well?
Yes, we do have a website, and the website is sahasforcause.org. We also have our own Facebook page, Sahas for Cause. Our latest activities are posted on our Facebook page. Our website is running. It is going through another layer of revamping, and that is also due to the support of a very generous donor in the community who is helping us so that we look good. So, please help me. Please join Sahas for Cause in any capacity that you can.
So thank you very much, Payal. With that, I think we have come to the end of our show. Sorry, folks, we went a little over than the allotted time, but I'm pretty sure it was important for everybody to understand what Sahas is, and that's why we took a little bit more time. But all our good luck and best wishes for Sahas and to you, Payal. We will be there, as we mentioned, that we will always be there to help you out with whatever we can. And with that, I would like to end this show. Thank you very much, everybody who joined on this show, and thank you very much, Payal.
Thank you, Ashish.
Yeah.
This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत बजेगा भारत झूमेगा भारत
This is Bharat FM.
All right, we have stopped the recording.